Hi guys, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this jewelry hanger. I posted a picture of this on my Instagram and asked if you guys wanted a tutorial, and an overwhelming amount of you were like, yes, please give me a tutorial. So here I am. I luckily wrote everything down that I did just in case you guys wanted a tutorial, so here we are. This is a beginner friendly pattern. There's only 2 to 3 kinds of stitches, all very basic stitches. Definitely any skill level can do this. There are some supplies you're going to need, so let's go ahead and get into supplies. You're going to need a 4mm crochet hook, a G6 or 4mm crochet hook. You're going to want crochet needles to weave in your ends, a pair of scissors. The type of yarn that I use for this is a cotton yarn. This one's from We Are Knitters, and this one I want to say is like Elise or something. I'll find the brand and put it up on the screen. But although they are 2 different brands, they are the same weight yarn, cotton yarn. The thinner the better with this, so it can kind of flow really nicely. We have our base color and our outline color, so if you want it to look like that, you're going to need 2 colors. And then you are going to need 1 of these thinner wooden dowels. This is the kind I used for my smaller dowel. And the smaller one is the one that we put on the top. I'll show you a little more of a close-up. So this top one is the thinner one. And this bottom one that holds things like watches and thicker jewelry is the thicker one. So you're going to need 1 of the smaller ones and 1 of the bigger ones. This is the size I use for my bigger one. I got these at Joann's. You could probably find them at Michael's. So yeah, you just need 1 big, 1 small. And then you also are going to need a hot glue gun and a glue stick, just because I did hot glue this section of the jewelry hanger so that it would stay in place when it was hung up. And if you want it to look like mine, you're going to need to hot glue. So hot glue gun, or like super glue or something like that if you don't have a hot glue gun, but something to stick it together. Alright, let's get started. The way that this works is we start at the top, so we're going to need the smaller one first, and then you want to take your base color. For me, it's the green. And then what we're going to do, this is a little, something you're probably not used to if you're just a crocheter, but it's a knitting technique. That's how we get the yarn onto the stick. So I need you to pull out a bunch of yarn, like a bunch, okay? A lot, because we're going to need to pull from basically this and this when putting it on here, and it'll make sense in a second. But you're going to pull a bunch out. It's better to have more than not have enough, because then you'll have to undo all your work. So this is called casting on in knitting. It's how you cast on your yarn onto a knitting needle. We're doing the same technique onto the stick. So the way we cast on is after you pull out a bunch of yarn, you are going to put your yarn here and your ball here. Okay, now you're going to make a slip knot, which is, you guys know how to do that. Just turn it, grab this yarn, make a slip knot. So now you're going to put your stick through the slip knot, and don't pull too tight. We do want just a little bit of gap, because we want to be able to put our hook here later. So we need to have just a little gap, just not too tight. Don't want to make it too hard on ourselves. So the way, oh, I knocked my light over. This is how you cast on. So you have your pulled out yarn and your ball. Now I want you to first move this closer to the edge. And what you're going to do is you're going to grab the yarn with your hands here, your 3 fingers here. Then I want you to take your pointer finger and your thumb and put them both through those yarns, okay? And then I want you to make like a finger gun. And now that you've made a finger gun, what you're going to do is you're going to take this, leave your hand here, and you're going to take the stick, and you're going to put it underneath here and over this one. And then you're going to pull it back through, and then you just pull it tight like that. And you're going to do it again. So underneath the one closest to you, over the farthest one, and then back through this loop here. And then pull your thumb out, and then just pull tight. And I'll do it one more time, and if you haven't got it down yet, just rewatch this part until you get it down so we can keep going. So I'll do it one more time. You're gonna go under the one in front of you, over the one in the back, and through that circle right there, and then just pull. Now, this is called casting on. Like I said, to keep it loose, that's kind of hard, but I just don't make it too tight, because then it'll just make it really hard later. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep doing this until there are 52 casted on. So there should be 52 of these pieces. Okay, so right now we have 4. Do it until you have 52 and then come back. So we've got our 52. I kind of pulled out a little too much extra, which is fine, but if yours looks anything like this, where you have them all bunched up, you're gonna want to pull them. Oh, I just shook the whole table. Pull them until they're like fairly spread out across the whole stick. It's kind of hard. I think I did them too tight. Literally what I warned you guys not to do. I'm pretty sure I just did that. So yeah, basically spread them out until they look like basically something like this. These will spread out more as we continue, but you really just kind of want to get them like as far around the stick as you can. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut off this extra, leaving enough to weave that in later. Put that out of the way. Turn our work, and we're going to be working like this. So it's a little tricky, but you're going to want to, so you're going to insert your, oh, let me show you where I'm inserting it. Okay. So there's like these stitches right here. Between these two strands, try and shove your hook in this gap and come out on the other end. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. See how I kind of shoved it through these two strands? Okay, now you're gonna hook your yarn, pull it through, chain 1 for good measure, and then what we're gonna do is stick your hook in between the same one, pull it through, and place a single crochet. This will get out of the way, I promise, but place a single crochet. So go, and then you go into the next one and place another single crochet. So in between these two strands, and you want to try and poke out on the other side. It's kind of hard when you do it too tight. Yarn over, pull through, and you'll have 2 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through those 2. I like to go kind of loose with these ones, so it just makes life easier. And then you're just going to keep repeating that. So insert your hook in between. Oh, this part's going to take a long time just to get it through, but once we get off of this stick, I promise things will get easier. So we stuck our hook through, yarned over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a single crochet. You're going to single crochet exactly how I showed you all the way until you get to the end, and then meet me back here. Alright, so that was row 1. Row 1 is done. We have a row of single crochets. Yay, it took forever. That was probably the hardest part. So now that we're at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and turn your work. This is row 2. And then you're going to place a double crochet in the first stitch from the previous row. So go ahead and place a double crochet. If you don't know how to double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops. And now that you know how to double crochet, place 1 double crochet in every previous single crochet all the way across to the end of the row. That's row 2. When you get to the end of row 2, place your last double crochet. Crocheting with a stick in the way is so annoying. Okay, so you finished row 2 of double crochets. You're at the end. What you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to do exactly what you just did for rows 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you're going to have a total of 5 rows of double crochets, and every time you get to the end, chain 2, turn around, go back, and once you're done with those 5 rows of double crochets, you finish row 6, we will continue. Alright, so we've got rows 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of our double crochets done. So now we can move on to row 7. So you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. And then what we're going to do is chain 2 again. And I want you to skip 2 stitches. So where you would place your first double crochet, we're skipping the second one. So after you skip 2, we're going to place a double crochet in the 3rd spot. And you should get something that looks like this. And then what you're going to do is chain 2, skip 2 spots, and double crochet in the 3rd spot. And you should get something that looks like this, and you're going to repeat that all the way to the end. Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the 3rd, all the way across. Okay, at the end of row 7, your last double crochet should land in the last spot of your row. And then what you're going to do is chain 4, 2, 3, 4, flip your work, and now you are on row 8. So in row 8, now that you've chained 4, you're going to double crochet right on top of your previous double crochet. So you're going to find a stitch and double crochet right on top. So it should look like this. It should be continuing up together, and then you're going to chain 2 and double crochet right on top of your previous double crochet. I hate when that happens and you split the yarn. So you're going to repeat this chain 2, double crochet on top of the previous double crochet all the way across, and chain 4 at the end and do it again. So for rows, that's row 8. So you're going to repeat row 8 for row 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So row 8 through 16 are the same thing. So go ahead and repeat this until you finish row 16. When you get to the end of row 8 and the end of the next couple rows you're doing, you're going to come across this. So you're going to get to the end and there isn't going to be a spot. So where you place the last double crochet is at the top of the second chain. So that first 2 chains you did when you chained 4 counted as a double crochet. So what you do is you count 1, 2, and then in the 3rd chain you place your double crochet. So it should look something like this when you're done with it, before you chain 4 and continue to the next row. Alright, we have just finished row 16. Now it is time to move on to row 17. So what we're going to do is chain 2, turn our work, and now that you're on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet right on top of our previous thing right here. You see what I'm doing? I'm going to put a double crochet there. And now we are going to do 2 double crochets in this space here because we did 2 chains in the previous row. So 2 double crochets. And after you do that, you're going to put another double crochet on top of your previous double crochet from the row before. And then 2 more double crochets in this space here. and you're going to repeat this all the way to the end. So 2 double crochets in the spaces and 1 double crochet on top of your previous double crochets, and then meet me back here. Alrighty, row 17 is done, so now we're going to start row 18. So chain 2 and turn our work again, so we're on the other side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place a double crochet in every single stitch all the way across until you get to the end. Okay, so now that we finished row 18, row 19 is where we make the spots for this to slide through. So if you can tell, we're kind of like, we're on track. We're about right here. So these spots are different stitches to make them longer, to leave room to slide the dowel through. So I'm going to show you how I accomplished that in row 19, what we're about to do. So you just finished row 18. You're going to chain 2 and you're going to turn your work. Then what we're going to do, I am knocking things over. What we're going to do is place a double crochet in the first spot. So in the first stitch, place a double crochet. And now that you've done that, you're going to place a treble crochet in the next stitch. So treble crochet is yarning over 2 times and then insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So that's a treble crochet. So we want our double and then our treble. That's where we're going to slide the pull through. So then you're going to do another double crochet and then another triple crochet. So what this just did was create a spot for us to slide the dowel through right here. So now that we've got that part, we're going to do 20 double crochets. It's basically just going to get you across to about like right here, and then we can do the same thing we did but at the end. Or I'm sorry, you're going to do about 20 double crochets. It's going to get you in the middle, and then we're going to do the same thing we just did. So do 20 double crochets. $19, $20. So this should land you basically in the middle of your jewelry holder. So now that we've gotten there with those 20 double crochets, we're going to do another treble crochet in the next stitch, and then a double crochet, and then a treble crochet again. And then, now that we're there, we're going to do another 20 double crochets, and it's going to get you almost to the end, but not all the way to the end. So 20 double crochets. So now that you're at the end of your 20 double crochets, we're going to do a treble crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet, and then another treble crochet. You can hear my cat clawing out the door. And then in the end, we're going to end with a double crochet. And that is your row 19. So for row 20 and row 21, you're going to do just double crochets all the way across. You're just going to do double crochets all the way across for rows 20 and 21. So chaining 2 every time you turn, just go ahead and do double crochets all the way across for row 20 and 21, and then meet me back here for row 22. Alright, we finished those 2, and now we were on our row 22. So for row 22, this is where we start to decrease, and that's how you kind of get that like swoop towards the end of the jewelry hanger. So we're going to do this by chaining 1 and turning our work to start. And what we're going to do is do a single crochet decrease. So what that is you insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Don't do anything with what's on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. You just turn 2 stitches into 1, so that's a decrease. And then you're gonna single crochet all the way across until you have 2 stitches left, and you're gonna decrease in that stitch. So now that you've done your first decrease, let's single crochet all the way across, but stop when you have 2 stitches left. Alright, we are all the way to the end of row 22. There are 2 stitches left, so we're just going to place another single crochet decrease in that last 2 stitches. So now we can go on to our row 23. So chain 1, turn your work, and we are doing the same thing we just did. So do a decrease in the first 2 stitches like that, and then single crochet across and decrease in the last 2 stitches. Okay, so you just finished row 23 with a decrease in the last 2 stitches. So for row 24, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. And now this one's a little different. We're going to do 2 decreases. So for the first 2 stitches, you're going to place a decrease, like I already showed you how to do. And that is 1 decrease. So we're going to do 1 more decrease. So in the next 2 stitches, let's do another decrease. And now that you've done 2 decreases, you're going to single crochet all the way across until you have 4 stitches left, and then stop so I can show you how to do the rest. Okay, you've got to the end of row 24. You have 4 stitches left. So in these last 4 stitches, we're doing 2 decreases. So decrease in the first 2 and then decrease the last 2. And that is your row 24. So for the last 2 rows of this project, row 25 and 26, you're repeating what you just did. You're repeating row 24. So you're just going to do the same thing. 2 decreases, single crochet across, 2 decreases for the last 2 rows, and then you're done with the green. Alright, so now you finished row 26, you're done with your green yarn. You can cut, leave some length to weave it in, but chain 1 and pull it through, fastening off. So you are done. It should kind of have this like rounded out look towards the end. And now we can actually switch to our outline color. So for me, it's this cream color. So what you're gonna do, let's get this one out of the way. What we're going to do is take our outline color and make a slip knot, and then put your hook in the slip knot. And where we're going to attach this is to the top right corner. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, if you see the project laid out, this top right corner, this is where we're going to attach. So you're going to take your yarn and your hook, and I know it's going to be kind of awkward, but in this like little corner, just try to get like the most corner you can. It's going to be a little weird, but you insert your hook and you pull through and you slip stitch it. So now you have attached your yarn to the project. It's hard to lay this out with a stick involved, but now that you are attached to your project, you're going to place a single crochet all the way around the whole thing until you hit to the other piece of wood. So now the way I determine kind of like how I do this is if it's a double crochet, like this is a double crochet, there should be 2 single crochets on it. So 2 single crochets on it, and then 2 single crochets on the next double crochet. And you just kind of go down. It's not perfect. There's not too much counting involved. It's very kind of just like go with the flow. just keep inserting your hook and moving along. And it ends up working out. It gives the look that you're wanting that I showed you on the finished one. So you just kind of move down. Once you hit this like net part, what I like to do is I do 2 in this gap, 2 single crochets in the gap, and then 1 on this like row section. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but that, and then 2 in the gap, and then 1 on the row, and then 2 in the gap, 1 on the row. And I just do this all the way until I hit the next kind of chunk. Okay, so you kind of come to an end on this net part, and now we're back to our chunks. So really just follow along, and then once you get here, you can go into the stitches until you get to the other side, and repeat what you did here for this side, and then meet me back at this corner. Alright, so you made it all the way around to the other side of the wooden dowel. Now you think you're done, but you're not. We have 1 more row, so what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our work around so we can work back down all the way around to the other side. 1 more time, just placing a single crochet in every stitch we just did in the white, just to make it thicker. That's what I did on the other one. So 1 more row of single crochets, and then here, and then I will show you how to do the strap, and then we are done. Alright, you made it all the way back around with your second round of your border color, and now we can do the strap. So to do the strap, it's very, very easy. We're just going to chain 60. So go ahead and chain 60. Alright, so once you chain 60, you're just going to go to the other side of your work and go right into the top of where you did your rows of white. And I am actually going to single crochet just because I feel like it's stronger. So single crochet, and then I like to slip stitch just a few down. I slip stitch like 4, 3, 4, maybe 5, just for like extra strength. And then I chain 1 and cut, leave room to weave your ends in and fasten off. So your strap is now on. It's gorgeous. So now that it's done, we just have a few finishing touches to kind of like bring it all together. We still have to glue and weave in our ends and things like that. So this next step, I would start with weaving in your ends. So take a crochet needle and just go to all the spots where you have ends and weave them in however you usually weave your ends in. And then I will show you how to do the next part. Okay, so we are done weaving in our ends, and now this is like the little final touch part. So if you look at your project, there's going to be like a wrong side and a right side, like the front you want displayed and the part you don't. So for me, this is the wrong side, and I'll show you why. So if you flip it over, you can kind of see, and it's wrinkly, and I'll tell you how to get rid of that, but you can kind of see like this is the pretty side of the last single crochet we did. It doesn't really matter what side you're on, it doesn't matter. But that is my front. So you need to pick your front. Wherever you end up picking it is up to you, but you need to pick your front. So once your front is picked, I'm looking at my other one just to make sure I'm doing this correctly. So once your front is picked, this is my front, you are going to take your thicker dowel and we're going to place it right now. So you should look for the treble crochets you made, which they should be about right here. Yep, so they should be 1, 2, there should be 3 rows down if you're having trouble finding them. And what you're going to do is you're going to put through the first treble crochet and then skip over that double crochet and then put it through the next treble crochet. Now this part's a little tricky, and be careful, especially if your dowel is like has splinters or something. And then you're gonna slide it through, and then you're gonna find the center ones. They're very easy to see if you know what you're looking for. Just look for the slightly bigger stitches. So they're gonna be like directly in the center of your project. So here's the first treble crochet, and then we're gonna let that next double crochet go behind it, and then put the next treble crochet over it. So we're about almost there. This part's always scary because it's like you can feel the yarn rubbing against the wood. So then you get to the end and you have to find the last ones. Oh, okay. This. All right, so got it through. Now everything kind of just feels wrinkly and weird, and you can fix this by steaming it. So I steamed this one, and that's why it's like not wrinkly and it's very straight. I used a steamer. If you don't have a steamer, just take a really hot shower and hang this in the bathroom while you shower. If not, if you just hang it up, honestly I think the weight will do it, or you could try blocking it, but steaming does get rid of the wrinkly effect. So now that we have this in, that is in. So the last part is the hot gluing. So as you can see, if this is our front, we want to tuck the strap behind the wood. So if it's in front of the wood, it looks like that. It's kind of ugly. So we're putting it behind the wood, and they're both behind the wood. And then we are going to flip it over. So now we're looking at the back of our project, and we're looking at the straps on top of the wood. And then you're going to take your hot glue gun and you're going to put a little bit here and a little bit here, and I will do that right now. Okay, so the hot gluing portion, what you're going to do is lift the strap up, put some hot glue, and then put the strap back down, and then hot glue over that. So I'm going to show you by lifting it, putting a little bit of hot glue. We don't really want it to be seen from the front, so put the strap down over, and then I just kind of hot glue it to the green straps right next to it, just so that it all stays. I don't want these coming off either, so it kind of helps the whole thing not fall apart. It's just a little bit of glue, and then we're going to carefully move over to this side, and I'm going to lift this, put a little bit of glue there. Oh no, I got it on the strap. Bring this down and put glue on top and kind of just connect it all. I just like the idea of securing a project with some hot glue, especially if it's like on a piece of wood that things can easily just slip off. So let that cool. Alright, so once your hot glue is dry, you are done. Unless you want to go steam it, you can still steam it, but other than that, this is your jewelry hanger. Congratulations, you made it all the way to the end. If you did make this and you're going to post it on Instagram or TikTok, please tag me. I'd love to see your work. If you had any issues along the way that you can't sort out, comment down below and I will try and help you out, or maybe someone else can chime in and try and help you out if I don't get to you first. But other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Subscribe if this tutorial was helpful for you and you liked the outcome. And if there were any issues, let me know what I can do better in the next tutorial. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.